Hey guys, what's up? We are in front of our deal here at Cypress Street in Arizona, and as you can see, the grass is dead. It's a good representation of the fact that even though this deal is quote unquote done and it's on Airbnb, it is still a work in progress. It has been a pain from the beginning. It'll be a learning experience for you guys. It's a learning experience for us, but it has been a headache since day one.
Slow contractors, missed deadlines, poor budget management, the wrong people who brought the wrong people who brought even more wrong people.
That's a good way to say it.
It's been an adventure. We're here where we are, and yeah, I'm proud of where we've gotten so far, but it's been an adventure.
I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish with this one. It's already making a lot of money. It's going to make even more money, but let's talk about the entire deal. Let's go inside. All right, so what was really cool and what attracted me to this deal was the fact that it has 2 units on one property. So we've got a 1-1 over here. We'll end there, but then this door is a 3-2. And so, Kyle, I mean, you know, the thing that we loved, I just saw this, how funny, all of these chairs.
They still have to.
It's just a great representation.
That sounds about right.
So, you know, the thing that we, about the deal here, right, we bought it from Keegley, from our friend Jamil.
Yeah.
For $320.
Right.
We saw probably it was going to be like $45,000 to $50,000 right on the rehab.
And it was tough to see what we didn't. We didn't see what we didn't see.
Yeah.
Right, which is a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I guess we'll get into that in a second here. But yeah, I mean, from the outside, even though it was a hoarder house, there was a lot of stuff going on in here. Yeah, and I want to ask you about that. But just to kind of get the numbers in, you know, 320. We thought it was going to be about $45,000 to $50,000 in the rehab, and we thought it was going to be an ARV of right around $420,000 to $430,000. We brought in some private money who was going to be a partner in the deal that was going to help us get into this thing and furnish it with no money in the deal, which was great for everyone. But yeah, so you, first of all, I got the deal under contract with Keegley, and I hadn't even seen the property. Yeah. But you went to the property. What was that like?
First time walking through a property.
So yeah, walk me through like just even as you walked in. What was going on?
So there was a wall right here that came out to here. So you open a door to a wall. Yeah.
A wall of?
Just a wall. Oh. Just to here. And then this was complete shelves, completely full of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So in the one lap that I had around this place, I had about a 3-foot wide, a 2-foot wide walkway through the kitchen, through this area, and that was it. That was it. I literally couldn't even put my foot into a bedroom to look at it, nor open the door wide enough to look inside. Because
I remember texting you being like, hey, get as many pictures as possible, and then you just being like, of what? It was just all this stuff.
Here's stuff, and here's more stuff, and here's more stuff.
Yeah.
But this was also enclosed.
Yeah.
And
I love that we opened that up.
Yeah, that was a great idea, and it made such a huge difference, right? So over here was the door that connected these 2 units here. Yeah. So that was an early decision to close that off, create 2 different units. While we're doing that, let's open up this whole place and turn this into a bar top. This was just a wall with a very small doorway right here into a very narrow kitchen. So
it was very narrow.
This was all cabinets.
Exactly.
This was all cabinets. This was all cabinets. Well, that was a door, but there's cabinets all over the place, all along this wall. So we take down the wall and we built a bar from scratch.
Yeah.
From literal scratch.
Let's talk about the bar first, and then I want to talk about the countertops. Yep. So this was one of the best things that our first contractor did.
Yeah.
One of the only good things that he did.
Yeah.
I really like that bar top.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be worse. I love, you know, we want to embrace the wood feel early, the natural grain wood feel, and we pulled through for sure. Yeah. Yeah. But it's epoxied, it's sturdy, and it's custom cut around everything, so it looks nice. It looks nice. And the bar is sturdy. We had to rewire all the internal plumbing so that the range could be here.
Yeah. So before we get too deep into the kitchen, one of the things that we bought the deal in October of 2020, and then it closed in November of 2020, and I already had a trip planned the second week of December of 2020. So his crew came in end of November.
Yeah.
Demo typically takes, even with hoarders, 3 to 4 days. I come in 2 weeks later, and this place, I'm literally, I don't know if you remember me saying this, but the plan was not for me to come help with demo, but my thought was maybe if I go and help with demo and outwork these guys, they'll step up their game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked here an entire day.
It's the most productive day for the first like 3 months.
I mean, some of the other workers were good, but the main guy was not. He wasn't doing anything. I know he was injured, but at the same time, it was just like, oh my gosh, what is this pace going to be?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I remember talking to you. I'm like, demo shouldn't be taking this long. And you were giving benefit of the doubt in the beginning. You were like, dude, it's just a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's a lot of stuff, but
4 bins, 4 5-ton bins.
Yeah, and that's
full,
that's a lot.
just for demo.
Yeah. So, so yeah, 3 weeks later, demo's done.
Yep.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Ish.
Yeah. And then he starts. I mean, it seemed like a lot of it was the kitchen here in the beginning.
The custom built bar. This what we're looking at here definitely took up the most amount of time, the most amount of resources, and like I said, thankfully,
a bunch of wires.
one of the had to rework the whole electrical grid. The ceilings completely collapsed when we took down the wall because the ceiling wasn't actually this. It wasn't actually connected to anything. It was just floating. So once we took the wall down, the ceiling just completely collapsed. So we had to rebuild the entire ceiling almost all the way halfway through the house on that side.
Here was the weird thing. So if we want to get a shot of this, this is the genius idea that our contractor had. This is not dirty. This is stained. That's Kool-Aid from our first guest. These are rings from cups, just completely stained. I remember when we were walking through and we were talking about staying in budget, he was like, yeah, instead of doing granite countertops, we'll just do epoxy. And I was like, well, what is epoxy? I don't know what that looks like. He's like, yeah, we just do epoxy and it looks just like granite. First of all, this doesn't look just like granite. Second of all, I was like, but I would rather have it done right than done cheap. So if we got to add a little bit more, he's like, no, it looks just like it. And here's the result.
Yep.
Like, literally the first guest stain. Now we got to talk about getting another coat of, because apparently it just wasn't sealed. That's what we're being told.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's what Mike said when he came in yesterday.
Gotcha.
He said this just wasn't sealed. So we have to get another epoxy layer, but have it sealed this time. Yeah. And that was, I mean, this was one of the last things that he worked on, right? And then he was gone.
That's why I don't know. Yeah. He was out of here before I could even figure out what he did to these countertops.
Yeah, and we just talked about the AC. I mean, we hired him to. We got 3 quotes from AC guys. They were all
4, but yeah.
They were all between $6,500 to $8,000.
Yep.
And he said, I'll go and pick a unit up from Kingman.
That's right. Do it myself
for $6,000, and that's when we were still like, okay, he's really helping us.
Right.
And then a month later, I called you and I was like, hey, how'd that AC go? And you're like, I don't think he's picked it up.
Yeah.
And that was the last straw. He already had $6,000. We gave him $6,000.
Yep.
And he never did the job.
No AC. Yeah. No revent work. Nothing.
Yeah. One too many chances for that guy.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the learning lesson there?
I mean, there's this window where I feel like I didn't know enough about how some of this stuff worked, right? My joke is, I don't know what a P-trap is.
Yeah.
But it really was kind of that basic, right? So when working with someone who I trusted at the time, when he says, I'll do this, no problem, and then that stops happening, I don't know what he was actually trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about what he was doing. So I committed to learn, to figure it out, so I could have better conversations with him about more realistic timelines, about more realistic budgets, and start holding him more accountable to that. And the more that happened, the less he actually started doing. So it was just day in, day out, what's going on here? What are we doing today? What am I going to walk into tomorrow? What's going to get done? And man, you can only talk to someone so much. You can't make them move.
Yeah.
And but I think that the learning curve for me of just understanding how this all works is one of my biggest takeaways.
Yeah.
is to invest the time necessary to understand the trade.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think you now have, you had this tolerance up here.
Yeah.
The tolerance is probably down here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Less trusting for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's keep walking through the house. So we ended up changing contractors.
We did.
This guy was saying all the right things.
Yep.
We hired him right around the end of March. So this was supposed to be done early February.
Yep.
Now we're end of March, firing one guy, coming on to the next, and this new guy who was a referral from a friend of ours, and the referral hadn't used him but said he works his butt off. He's there day and night. And we said, well, if he can work with our budget, we just need someone to get in and do it. And he said, we'll work with the budget. He said, we'll have it done by April 10th. I remember the date. He said, we'll have it done by April 10th. He said, that's pushing it, but we'll do it. And April 10th came, and I mean, this guy between the end of March to early April, he was saying all the right things.
Yeah. A lot of positivity, a lot of communication. Here's what I'm doing today. It's the running joke. Today's the day.
Yeah.
And today, that day wasn't the day, and then the next day wasn't the day, and then the next day wasn't the day.
I've counted at least 10 times him saying today is the day we're finishing. And then by like the 5th time, I'm texting you being like, is it? And you're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I just was there. There's no way. He did eventually get it done. Memorial Day weekend.
We got here.
Memorial Day weekend. And the furniture here is awesome. Like it pops. Like I can look at everything that we did, and that what you did and what the contractors did, and we can be super like, God, that was a pain in the butt, but the place looks freaking phenomenal.
We got here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
the coffee bar is super cool. That's cabinets from the kitchen.
Coffee bar is repurposed cabinets from the kitchen and custom burned wood here.
Yeah.
So yeah. We wanted to repurpose it and create a space that is inviting to guests.
Yeah. The part that I'm super proud about, especially just from an effort standpoint from you, was that we were setting up another unit at the same time as this one was finishing up.
From scratch.
Yeah.
From scratch. Yep.
And it's so interesting, right? Because this one, it just felt like no matter what we did, even furniture, ordering furniture, getting the person that was going to do furniture to get it done, it just didn't get done.
Got messed up.
It literally like was just contagious. Just like hitting and pitching are contagious. Getting a job done are contagious.
Yeah.
And the Bluefield one, gosh, like 2 weeks it was contagious in a good way.
Fired on all cylinders.
Yeah.
I got things ordered in time. They arrived on time. My team helped me on time.
Yeah.
It was great.
A new team.
New team. Yeah. A new team.
Yeah.
Thank God that was seemingly effortless, that I had learned enough to that point to be able to execute that. It unfortunately pulled from here, right down to and so we start relying on contractors to simply do what they say, and I'll clean up the rest and handle it from there. And to the point where I'm panic running around at 4:40 because guests arrived at 3. The guests are standing out in the front lawn, 8 of them, watching me bounce between both units with a trash bag in one hand and a pile of trash in the other, and a mat in the other, and a vacuum. It was insane for just running around the house, trying to make sure that everything was ready for guests, because it was not ready.
Yeah.
It was not ready.
Well, and here we are 3 weeks later, and this is the first couple days that it's been vacant, and that's why we're seeing, like, still the tags on the stools, the tape under the stuff. We just found out that the lawn is not
right. It's stuff that guests haven't complained about, but things that with a little bit better coordination through everything, it's another set of eyeballs.
Yes, and that's what I love about this business, is that in the short term, people know it's new. They know that they're getting a reduced rate.
Right.
And most of the time, what we would have done is said, let's just wait till it's done and done right. But Memorial Day was really a target for us, because we knew how much we would make on Memorial Day.
Right.
And so, but
start creating some sort of revenue instead of just
and
spending money here.
Creating timelines and deadlines too, I think, just gets us all into action.
one way or another.
Yeah.
When a guest is on the front lawn, you find a way to get it done.
This is true. This is true. So this bedroom, just to talk a little bit more about the structure of it. I don't know how to turn the light on
Yeah,
here.
it's got to be full chain.
Is there there you go.
There we go. Yeah, so this is one of the 3 bedrooms in here. You can see that the doors are still not colored, are not painted correctly. They're hanging on by a thread there, but they made it. We had to reinstall new fans. We had to rework the electrical system in here. The morning of the guests arriving at 4 o'clock, none of these outlets worked.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that down to the wire.
Wow.
And trying to trace back who did the electrical, when was it done, it was hard to do. So luckily I got a teammate that really came up in a pinch and was here late at night and got it done.
Nice.
Which is awesome.
Nice.
So
well, and we closed off that wall, right?
we did. That's right. This was a door. This was one of the first things done. It was a good call, made a big difference because it really creates this part of the house is almost like a suite with those doors there.
Yeah.
You get the bedroom that's quiet, and you have the bathroom right next to it with a lot of privacy just for this little part of the house. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
But custom windows along the way too. That was something that we had to do with 70-year-old house did not have dual pane windows.
Yeah.
Right.
That.
So if we
and
want to
that's
have
tough with the brick.
Yeah. There's and it's tough when you need someone to actually take the measurements to do it and order them.
Oh
And,
wow. I didn't know those were wood.
Yeah, I don't understand how this window came to be because this is the only one that's wood.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I like
but
it. I think it's a cool look.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't understand. I've never seen a wood frame window.
I've never seen that either. I love this bathroom.
Yeah, it's a really cool bathroom. It turned out really, really good. And it was built from scratch. We had at one point there was literally no walls from here through all the way over there. We had to rebuild the walls from scratch. It was nothing but dirt and plumbing. So new shower, new fixtures, new bathtub, new tile laid on the wall here, window reinstalled, new mirrors, literally new toilet, new vanity.
Awesome.
Scratch. When I say scratch, I mean scratch. And it's really cool. First time picking black tile, right?
Yeah.
But had a vision that it would, in such a small bathroom, really kind of pop and really bring attention to some of the other things. When you add just a little bit of color, now the color kind of really pops.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
It turned out awesome. It really did. There was many hands working on this one.
This entire house.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. Want to go over to the 1-1?
Yeah. This was fun. I wanted each side to have its own personality, right?
Yeah.
Its own story, its own feel here. And when we bought it, this 1-1 was where the grandfather of the family lived, and it was in much better shape overall. It was not as full. One of the biggest issues we had is because we decided to split the way we did is there was a family living here, the washer and dryer on that side, and there was a door that they would go back and forth and do laundry. We took away the door, there was no laundry over here. So we had to get a little creative with this thing. And I don't know how he did it, I don't know where he got it, but we found ourselves a nice little 2-in-1 washer and dryer
combo
that could probably barely fit a basketball in there. But
when you're doing a 1-1 though, I mean, that's going to be one person.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, and there's not many Airbnbs you'll go to where the laundry room is in the kitchen. So
nope.
It's
now,
unique.
The one thing I also don't like about this one is that we had these things. They were good. Okay, so what it was spray paint, right?
Yeah, so that textured spray paint,
Yeah.
I kid you not, Kyle, there's a stack sitting on this thing. This entire thing was covered with empty cans, and there's probably 5 or 6 other empty cans. Contractor was just spraying this stuff on can after can after can throughout the whole place. And it was a gritty texture, it was a cool color, a stone color, right?
Yeah.
And then, cool, looks good, it's all textured. Are we gonna add epoxy or sealers or something, urethane to cover it up, right? So it's smooth. Yeah, absolutely. Added a couple layers. So 2 days before our first guest checked in, it was great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I got here the day before. I came back the day before our first guest checked in. And for some reason, he had decided to add one more layer. And for some reason, this was maple syrup colored epoxy.
Yep.
And I don't even know if it was epoxy because it comes off. I literally peeled off a giant chunk with just my fingers.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, the day before the guests came in, our contractor who built and made the countertops also ruined the countertops.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Such a bummer. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't had any complaints about it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But we are getting this taken care of too. So just like the one in the main house, we're going to be getting a quote for how to redo these countertops too without having to actually replace them and paint arm and leg. Yeah. So it is what it is, but the rest of the place is amazing. This used to be tile.
Pretty cool, huh?
And then coming back here to the bathroom and the one and only bedroom. I mean, I think everything turned out really good.
Yeah.
We ended up using the same countertops that are already here just because I think it worked out just fine.
It did. So we put a fresh coat of paint. At one point, there was nothing in this bathroom besides a toilet, too.
Okay.
All of this stuff was off-site, outside, somewhere getting painted, getting sanded, getting some sort of work. And it all came back together a week before the first guest checked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was down to the wire quite a bit, but it worked. We pulled it off. We had 3 different issues with the shower. It's the original tile. The original tile was a disaster, and we didn't have it in the budget to take out tile and rebuild a shower. So how do we clean? How do we sand down? How do we seal the current tile? So that was the effort that, again,
It looks good now.
it took 3 people to get there, but we got there.
Yeah. Looks good now. I just hope that it stays that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And then bedroom here, we still got to put up the curtains, but
Yep.
this was basically a closet.
This was a very big closet. Still
Yeah.
is a very big closet. So, yeah, obviously with Airbnb, their guests aren't keeping stuff here for months and on end here, right? So let's give them a place to work from home, so that both sides actually has their own desk.
And we gave them an armoire.
And then an armoire to be able to hang clothes to put everything away that they need to as well. So yeah, I thought this was a last minute decision to figure out what to do with this, because I was just going to put the armoire in here, and I realized, wait, there's a light. This is actually a pretty cool little workspace.
Pretty perfect.
here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cool. And the pool.
and the pool. When we bought this cow, I don't know if you remember, man, these walls are black now,
Yeah,
which
no,
to me it just
looks so
instantly
good.
made such a huge
So good.
difference, right?
Along with the AstroTurf.
With
that
the turf.
just makes it pop.
And then, thank God, I found a great landscaper through our contacts of reaching out in desperation. We found a great guy who took care of all the pavers, laid all the rock, all the pavers, all the AstroTurf, and really came through in a pinch. And it makes a huge difference. It was incredible that one guy's one day of work made such a big difference.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for what it's worth, that alone made me realize, okay, people just aren't getting stuff done around here.
Yeah.
That guy is.
Yeah.
And it shows. Why aren't I feeling this? Why isn't this happening inside the
In
house?
the rest of the house,
You know?
yeah.
So, yeah.
No.
But it looks great. Work in progress still, but
Well, and this looks better too because it was just kind of rusted metal before. I can't remember the exact look, but the black paint.
yeah,
gives a
so
lot.
it's black now. My next step here, I want to hang some cafe lights. I think
Yeah.
it'd look great in here, so trying to figure out exactly how to do that safely, of course. We built up a bit of a semi-roof here to try and give a little bit of shade, especially on the east and west facing sides, so
Yep.
that there's some sort of shade so that guests can enjoy
Yeah.
meals out here.
Absolutely. I think we still need to get cornhole for over here because it
Yeah.
just feels like a game area.
You know, I agree. I think being here while we were here last night, it really kind of showed, though this is dark. This
Yeah.
is dark, so I would like to get some sort of lighting system here to couple that so that some people can enjoy this space over here for
Yeah.
sure. Remembering that when we bought the house, from here on was about 30 years of dog poop.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And just cinder block after cinder block after cinder block.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy.
Yep.
You know what though? At the end of the day, the best thing about this is that it's been, about 85 to 90% booked in its
Yep.
first 3.5 weeks.
Yep.
We're getting over $220 a night.
Easy.
And the even better part of all this is that we got it in a time when the market was just so favorable to us, because
Yeah.
we said ARV was going to be around 420, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, they had all this stuff. They must have spent more on the rehab, right? We did. We ended up
Did.
spending double what we expected to on the rehab. So almost a 6-figure rehab. And we were rewarded.
Yes.
The appraisal came
Somehow.
in. Appraisal came in on the refi, $530, and it literally paid for everything. Everything.
Yep.
It paid for the furniture. It paid for the closing costs. It paid for the amount of time that our owners and investors were not making money on this deal. We're able to pay them back
Yep.
for their patience. Oh my gosh, it saved us.
It saved us.
Yeah.
It saved us.
Yeah. So now we can focus on making this thing perfect, continue
Yep.
to make money, make it a money-making machine, and hold on to this thing for years and years and years.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Hey, it was good times.
We
brother.
did it.
We did it.